I'm going to do here is mock up this piece. This is the right height. This is where I want the clamshell grapple part to pivot off of. So I'm going to just tack this in place so I can make what I want in the clamshell. I think that'll work. Yeah, I think that'll work right there. Here's the pattern, the top part, mid part, and bottom part. And since I made these angles specific, here's how I can put it together to make the least amount of cuts as possible. Just like that. So I think I'm going to have 4 fingers on this grapple, and so I need to make 4 of these. So let's get started. I think that'll work.
she's named some people today to that panel. That investigation is going to buy him some time. But, you know, my sense is we're watching the final act here. When it ends, but I think...
Support the Collins Power Foundation as we pay off the mortgages of fallen first responders and gold stars. Take a look at this tree.
Maybe a little hard to tell what I'm doing here, but I'm putting 3 layers of this iron stock right here, and each time I put a layer on it, I'm drilling through it so it'll be nice and straight. Just to thicken it up here a little bit, give it some strength. Probably not necessary, but it'll also give the pivot point here on these arms a little more meat to wear out, because it's going to wear out after a while. So that's what we're doing.
Patient with diabetes myself, I can say without question that the best comes.
Here's what I got going on these arms. What we'll do is we will put it together like this. Okay, so that looks pretty good, and I think what I'll do is I'll relieve the edges of this, maybe put a 45 on each one, and then same on this, just to kind of soften it up a little bit, kind of round it off. Let's do that first, and then we'll get to welding these onto the grapple. My angles right here weren't perfect, so I think what I'll do after I ground this and shapen this a little bit, I'll take it and cut the weld on these and push them down into place, and then retack them so that they're the same. And I'll make sure all 4 of them are pretty close to the same. It doesn't make that big of a difference, but we'll do it anyway.
This, as President Biden looks for the nation to have a bit more freedom from coronavirus by July 4th. Former CDC cell phone repair.
Let's take some measurements off this ram. It is a 3-inch bore. It's got an 8-inch stroke on it, and I bought this one at Atwood's. .20.5 compressed. That'll be 28.5 fully extended. Here's the plan. The piston end to end, or the ram end to end, compressed was 20.5, extended was 28.5. So I don't really know for sure. I'm winging it here, but I think what I'll do with this completely closed at the bottom of the grapple, in the middle I want to put 2-inch square tubing between all the 4 deals, and then I will make a bracket that comes up here, a double bracket, and then coming off the back of the grapple here we'll do another double bracket, and I've got to figure out this length right now with it closed needs to be roughly 28.5, and then I need to see, all this can be moved. This piece can be moved this way or all the way to the end. This could be angled this way or that way. This can be angled back and forward. I don't know if the length of these make a difference, if they're taller or shorter. I think the taller they are, the more power it has. The shorter they are, the more movement you have. But I do want this thing at 20.5 inches, completely compressed in, that I want this grapple to be, I want it to be all the way open. You know what I mean? All the way open. So it's going to take a little experimenting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a pattern out of some cardboard right here that'll have the compressed length and extended length of that. I'll make some mock brackets to put in position here, and then I think I will tack the square tubing up on this thing somewhere. Shoot, I don't know. So I'm just going to wing it. I hope it works. Here's the ram pattern right here. This is 28.5 inches from here to here. And this is compressed length right there on that deal, matched up. And that one is 20.5 from there to there. So I think what I'll do is I'll tape this right here at 28.5, and then go out there and mock up a couple of brackets up off of one of the arms and see how well it rotates through the length. So let's try that real quick. Okay, here's what I learned on this, and I think I remember doing this from the grapple that I put on the tractor. This can't try to pivot at the same pivot point this is. It has to be up higher. How high, I just had to kind of play with it a little bit. So with this straight up, that's about 28.5. And then when I bring it all the way up, that. And it pivots pretty close to the fully compressed length of that ram. So I think we'll go with this. I shouldn't have, I didn't want to have this bracket so long. It creates a lot of force twisting it. I probably should have made these lower down here. What I should have done. Could have had these pivot down here low, and I could have had the ram hook at about that height. That would have been a little more like it, but as it were, we'll need to make it, I think it was right here. So let's start making the brackets. Alright, here's what I came up with on that rear bracket on this thing. Wanted to use this 2-inch heavy duty to make the tower that comes up like this. But I decided what to do on this top part was we're going to take this and this to make it wide enough to straddle this, and then we're going to have this and this on the outside of it. That. And we end up with this right here. So we'll take it and we'll weld it all together. And this, I'll do the same thing for the front one. And it fits either end of this ram. So let's put that together. Need to try to tack it a little better. So I think I've got everything where I want it. All I got to do is finish welding everything up that I've got tacked into place, do some grinding, and paint it. But it is just too windy today. I'm just having a real hard time even tacking stuff, so we'll get to that at another time. After thinking about these jaws on the Grapple, I was going to leave this plain, but I'm thinking you grab a whole bunch of brush and it's real likely some of it might slip off. It needs some teeth in here. I was going to cut some teeth into this. I don't know, it might lose a little strength right here. So my idea is to take and make this piece and put it in here on this side. So let's go over here and cut these out. All right, so I think that'll do it on there. Just gonna put a little paint on it, put the ram on it, and start using it. That was kind of a fail. As you can see, that front mount on that grapple broke right off. And when I designed that, I thought I was gusseting that front one up enough. I did the rear mount for the hydraulic ram, but the front one I welded on there, and I'm not a great welder. So I did put an extra little strut on the front thinking it was going to save it, but here's what it looks like. Check it out. So initially when I was pushing it forward to close down, it snapped the back part and rolled it forward, and then when I closed it back, opened it back up again, I realized it wasn't really moving the fingers, and it just snapped off. So really, I don't think I'm going to use this. I'm gonna build it a little bit different. I'm gonna grind all this back down, and I'm gonna build it like I did the front one on my tractor. So let's pretend this square tubing is that tubing that goes across the front. I'm gonna make two legs that come up, drill 2 1-inch holes here on the top, and then I'm not just gonna weld this to it like this. I'm gonna capture it like this, cut this out. This will be the front, and it'll be a little harder to break that off. And I think I'll also, after I weld that on there, I'm going to take a couple of pieces of square stock and I'm going to cut angles on them, and I'm going to come down to support it. And really, you think about it, I'm not worried about support side to side per se, worried about it breaking off this way. But if I have this structure coming down to the bottom, in order for this to break off, it's got to twist it off here, or it's got to twist it off on the bottom one. So I'd have to break this weld on that weld, and with a hacker welder like me, that might work. So let's get busy and build it. guys, I'm gonna end this video here. I haven't had a chance to get out and try the Grapple since I broke it, but I did gusset it up a little bit more, and then I do want to give you a preview of what's coming up on the next video. I bought some used grouser over the tire tracks off of Facebook, and wow, they were in rough shape, but I got them put together and got them put on, and we need to get it out and really get it muddy and see how well it works. But that was a good project. Y'all look for that video here in a little bit. But here's how I changed the bracket a little bit. So at the end of the video, I finished putting this on and painting it. The next morning, and I didn't video it, I put these gussets here and on the other side, and I really think that's going to strengthen that whole thing up good enough. The back, I don't think I'm going to have any kind of problem with. It's built pretty stout. And I'm going to have to figure out, after I get to use a little bit, how I'm going to do these hoses. I think the hoses might be better if I took them straight out of here instead of angling them like that. But like I say, I'm going to end this here. Appreciate y'all watching, and we'll see you on the next one.